Metroid, the classic NES original, is still a ton of fun to play even after all this time, and considering it's the first in the series, it's actually not as broken as the Metroid games which followed. But that doesn't mean there isn't a glitch or two to mess around with, so let's get into it. To begin with, this first glitch can be seen at the very beginning of the game. Once you've picked up the Maru Mari, you'll most likely head to the right to find these two zoomers moving along the walls. If you shoot a door while one is crossing over it, the door will open and the zoomer will spin wildly in the air. This most likely happens because the game doesn't know what to do with the zoomer as it's no longer stuck to a wall or floor, so the game just rotates the sprite infinitely. Well, this looks fun. Eventually, the door will close and the game will place the zoomer back on the wall, fixing the glitch. Another small glitch can be seen if you get into a ball and roll off a platform. If you now press jump twice without pressing a direction, you'll be able to jump while already in the air. At first, this doesn't appear all that useful, but during a speedrun it can help optimize certain strats. We'll see the mid-air jump glitch again in this episode, but for now, let's move on. Here's a pretty cool trick which will get you the Varia suit much earlier than intended. For this trick, make sure you've picked up the ice beam, otherwise you'll find this very frustrating. You're also supposed to have the high jump in order to gain access to the Varia suit room, but all we need is this waver that's flying around. What we need to do is shoot these blocks in the ceiling, and with any luck, the waver will fly directly upwards through the opening. He's all like, swoop? It's like he's getting sucked into a vacuum. You'll need to freeze the waver with the ice beam nearer the top of the opening and then time a jump to land on the new blocks that spawn in. Now keep jumping upwards and then unfreeze the waver, which should now mean that it flies up into the room above. This now means you can freeze it once again and then use it as a platform to reach the door up to the left. Thank you very much. You should be able to get missiles in this next room, which you'll need to blow open the door at the other side. I say should because this game just seems to have a big deal with trying to get missiles anytime you need them. It's like, where are they? And once you enter, you'll have the Varia suit much earlier than you're supposed to, making the game a lot easier as it cuts damage by 50%. It's a good day to get hurt. Here's a really useful trick if you want to skip Ridley and Kraid. In order to do so, when you enter this room, you have to have this Rio follow you towards the door to the Ridley and Kraid room. It has to follow you exactly like this, otherwise it'll most likely get stuck on a wall and bounce around, and then it'll be next to impossible to get it through the door. You can use the ceiling sprite tiles above as a guide. Once you have this guy in the room, however, he's going to fly under this ceiling. Now you need to roll into a ball and off the ledge into the lava below, where you'll obviously take damage. But it's cool, I got this. With the ice beam, you need to quickly time a jump and freeze the Rio as close to the left ledge as possible. It's now possible to use the Rio as a platform and roll into a ball and drop a bomb. As it explodes, hold up left on the D-pad and you'll be able to roll into the small gap before the door. And you can now enter the next room skipping Ridley and Kraid. If energy conservation is a must, or you're going for swag points, you can use the mid-air jump glitch from earlier. You then freeze the Rio as before and carry on the skip. So the same as before, this just looks cooler, it's quicker, and less painful. It's also really hard, so better get practicing, folks. One of the most interesting glitches in Metroid involve the doors separating every room in the game. Shoot a door and then stand in the space where the door was. Now, wait for the door to close again, and when it does, press down and then immediately up repeatedly. You'll now see that Samus begins to gain height whilst being inside the door. If you keep alternating between up and down on the D-pad, you'll continue to move up into the wall. As you can see, the more you do this, the higher you go, and eventually you'll go off screen and in most cases out of bounds. Every room in Metroid screen wraps around itself, so if you exit the very top of the screen, you'll eventually appear at the bottom. This can be used to skip bombs at the beginning of the game by using the first door you exit from and getting inside it. Repeatedly pressing up and down will get you moving up the wall. Keep pressing down and up repeatedly until you appear at the bottom of the screen, and eventually you'll reach this platform which you should be able to get onto. Doing this will skip having to get the bombs to blow up the blocks above, so that's pretty cool. Bear in mind, if you don't press up immediately after pressing down on the D-pad, Samus turns into a ball and you'll be stuck in the wall. And then the only way out is to reset the game. The same goes for moving left or right while inside the wall. So avoid moving horizontally. Sometimes when you reach the top of the screen, you need to jump a few times to align the game's camera to catch up with Samus's position. Then you can carry on moving up the wall. This is used when you want to climb a larger wall rather than getting under a screen like the bomb skip. The glitch messes with the way screen transitions work, as the game is unsure if the scrolling should go up and down or left and right. It can also be used to enter what's known as the secret worlds, which are basically unused or unintended parts of the game. Although you're more likely to end up in very glitchy rooms, extraneous map data which exists outside of normal playing areas. It's a glitch that's best played with rather than explained, so I'll leave it to your imaginations as to where and when to use it. Here's a pointless glitch you can perform with the Metroid and the elevator. When you first encounter the Metroids, get one to grab Samus and then make your way to the elevator that got you down here. Now stand in place until your remaining energy hits 28 and then hit up on the D-pad. The elevator will go up while the Metroid drains Samus's energy, and then you'll die as the screen transition takes place. This will leave you in limbo momentarily, where you'll then regain control, but the only way is down, and that means game over. Does this technically make Samus a zombie? Another strange glitch can happen when you beat Mother Brain. When you land the final hit, quickly head as far to the right as possible, which is easier said than done in this case. You can make use of the mid-air jump glitch to cross this gap which you're not supposed to be able to. You need to quickly reach this point here by the time all the flashing stops. If you do this correctly, the escape sequence music will begin, but the timer won't, meaning everything will begin firing at you again. More importantly, when you check out Mother Brain, her sprite is now white, and firing off a missile or two will finish her off. Again. If you do this same glitch but get just slightly further away, the escape sequence won't even trigger. All sprite color palettes will be discolored and there'll be complete silence. Not only that, but Mother Brain will be alive and well with full health. Here we go again, I guess. And finally, once you've beaten Mother Brain the correct way, you have the escape sequence. Then you have to make your way up all the small platforms to reach the elevator at the top before the time bomb explodes. If you wait till you have 13 seconds left on the timer and then press up, the elevator will ascend and the explosion will happen, but Samus will survive the blast. Only it won't look, pretty. Just kidding, things work out fine, and now Samus is in a leotard for some reason. And that nicely wraps things up with Metroid. Things could only get glitchier, right? Hey guys, do you like drawing? Then head over to my other channel, Box Robot Studios. I've started a How to Draw Pokemon series that you need to check out, plus there'll be other series coming soon, like How to Draw Mario, Sonic, whatever. Go check it out now, subscribe, do it! And if you like this episode, hit that like button, share it with everyone you know and love, but most importantly, please subscribe if you want to see more from the series. Head over to the Facebook page for the show. I post updates and sneak peeks to upcoming episodes and keep you guys in the know about all things Son of a Glitch. Or you can follow me on Twitter and keep updated that way, you know, if you want to.